good morning, and welcome to Amud Yomi Shiur after a break. Yeah, after a break, we're all refreshed after the little benazmanim I took for myself. And now let's go back to the Mishnah, Heilige Mishnah. The topic today is, as we all know, yeah, in Torah, the two eidim is what makes a difference. There's no edus almost ever without two eidim, right? We know about eidim zamimim, and now the question is, what happens when you have more than two eidim and they're all testifying together? Yeah, let's say there are 4, 5, 6 eidim, 100 eidim. Yeah, does it make a difference if two eidim are made against four? Yeah, let's say some of the eidim are muzam and some are not muzam, some are mazim, some are not mazim. Yeah, v'chule v'chule. What happens when you have a group of eidim bigger than two? How do we relate to that? We are in the Mishnah al Pishna Eidim. That's exactly where we are. Yeah, we are now in Daf and Daf Hey Amud Beis in the bottom of the page. Hey Amud Beis, bottom of the page. Yeah. Hey Amud Beis, bottom of the page. Zok the Heilige Mishnah. Al Pi Shnaim Eidim. Al Pi Shnaim Eidim oy shloisha Eidim yumas hames. The Torah says, and by the way, this year obviously is Leilu Nishmas, my father Menachem and Akiva, the Rus Bas Shalom Stor Bas Moshe, and the and for the refuah of Ninacha Bas Liul Rochel, the Soich Shachar Yisrael.
So you what mate doesn't make sense.
It says Shemitzvah.
What mate?
That's not the topic now. Let's start. Al pi shnam eidim shlosh eidim yumas hames. The Torah says the person is mumas. You only execute a person based on the edus of 2 or 3 eidim. Why is it called yumas hames? That's a different story. It's not the issue now. Why do we repeat yumas hames? A good question, but it's not the topic. Al pi shnam eidim shlosh eidim says the Mishnah. Im iskemes edus b'shnayim. Lama pertakosu b'shloisha. If two eidim are mekayim, if two eidim are the ones who establish the edus, then why does the Torah have to tell me 3? Obviously, if two eidim is strong enough, if we work with numbers, two eidim are strong enough, then 3 all the more so. Why does the Torah have to detail and tell me 2 or 3? If 2, kol shekin 3, that's a question, yeah? So now, yeah, answers the Mishnah, Ela, Lehakish Shnaim Lishloisha. It's coming to tell you, Hekesh, to compare the 2 and the 3. Shloisha Lishnaim, Shnaim Lishloisha. Ma Shloisha Mezimin Es Shnaim, Afa Shnaim Yazumu Es Shloisha. Which means, we don't really care about numbers. Just like 3 Eidim can be Mezim 2 Eidim, and that's logical. In other words, 2 eidim, Beryl and Shmerel came and they said something, they said and so killed. Then come 3 eidim. Ooh, that's more, bigger. Who's winning the match? The 3 eidim are saying what? We saw you too. You're saying he killed him in B'Shemesh, La'alenu. You were with us at that very same time in Haifa, up north. So 3 for sure work against 2. And that's human logic. So 2, Afashnayim Yazumus Shloisha. So to the other way around. We don't really care about 2 versus 3. 3 eidim came and said Reuven killed Shimon in Bet Shemesh, and 2 eidim, less than them, say you were with us in Haifa. Then we say, oh, we still compare the two. 2 and 3 are the same. I don't care about whether it's 2 or 3. Continues the Mishnah, Minayna Filumea. How do you know that even if there are 100 eidim, yeah, which means, according to Tosfos, the chiddush is 2 versus 3. 3 is less than 1 cut. 2 against 2. 2 against 4, that's already a chiddush. Because if you break the four into 2 groups, yeah, you can have 1 cut against 2 katoit. We don't care about that either, even up to 100. How do you know? Talmud Loimar Eidim, which means, let's say 100 people came together, some of them came together, yeah, a whole throng of people came to Beis Din, 100, literally, and they all made the Reuven killed Shimon, and 2 people said about all 100, you were with us at a chasana in Haifa. You say you saw Reuven killing Shimon last Tuesday in Bet Shemesh. That night, all hundreds of you, the entire 100, the whole group, the 2 of us are saying that the 100, you were with us in Haifa last week. What do we say then? Yes, we believe the mezimim not the muzomim. Why? Because eidim means loshen rabim. Even if there are many, yeah, few against the many. Like the Chanukah, we don't care. Two are two, regardless to whether there are 2 or 100. It's the same thing. And for that, the Torah has to tell me shnaim, shloisha, and eidim. Even if there's more than one cut against the first cut, one against a few kitot, but all the kitot are together, then we say 2 work against many. Rabbi Shimon says, Ma shnaim eina ne'erogin ad shneim zomimin. Now Rabbi Shimon gives you a different reason. Rabbi Shimon has a different explanation. Rabbi Shimon gives you a different pshat. Why does the Torah have to compare the 2 to 3? Why do we say shnaim shloisha? Yeah? So says Rabbi Shimon Omer, Ma shnaim eina ne'erogin ad shneim zomimin. Just 2, just like 2. You don't kill the 2 unless both are zomimin, as we have established already before. You tell me, guys, let's see what you remember from before the break. What happens if Beryl and Shmerel are saying that Reuven killed someone? And Ken Yosef and Binyamin, and they're saying, Beryl, you were with us last week on the same designated time. You were with us somewhere else. And Shmerel, we don't know anything about you. What do? Do we kill Beryl alone because Beryl was Muzam? No. Why? Because when we say aid always means 2 eidim. They come in sets of 2. It's a package deal. It's a package deal. You can't kill one aid without the other. Aye, very good. Let's read Reb Shimon again. Reb Shimon Oimer, you know why we compare 2 to 3? Mashnaim einen erogin ad shishneim zomimin. Just like 2 people don't get executed, punished, unless both are zomimin. Only if Beryl and Shmerel were proven to be somewhere else and lying, then you punish them, you kill them. So to the 3 people, you don't kill them unless all 3 are zomimin. And that is a chiddush. I would say 2 eidim were muzam. Beryl and Shmerel are muzam. There's Beryl, Shmerel, and Makarel. So Beryl and Shmerel are muzam. Makarel is not muzam. So maybe Beryl and Shmerel should be killed. And by the way, the edus, of course, is null, obviously. That's not a question, even one. Toshkin, 2 out of the 3 are liars, right? So of course the edus out. And the guy can sigh a sigh of relief. Nobody's going to kill the accused. The Seder? Now, Beryl and Shmerel, you were in Haifa, and we believe the other eidim. But what about Makarel, the 3rd one? We don't know where he was. Nobody's blaming him for being a liar, for being Immanuel Yisem. If he's not Muzam, in other words, you don't punish him because he seems to be innocent. So too, you don't punish the first ones. And we don't say there's 2 and another one. All 3 are lumped together, package deal. And if one of them is not Muzam, the other ones are not Muzam either. And all 3, even the 2 that are Muzam, are off the hook. Now, that's Reb Shimon. Continues Reb Shimon, how do you know that even 100 people, now that's a chiddush. Imagine yourself, 99 people were Muzam. All 100 people are saying that Reuven killed Shimon in Bet Shemesh a week ago, right? And one of the 100 is Muzam by 2 people. Yeah, Yosef and Binyamin, the Mezimim, come to Beis and they say that that aid number 100, he wasn't in Bet Shemesh, a few days ago when he claimed he was in Gibraltar, not in Bet Shemesh. He's lying. Right, he was on Iraq, davening with the tzaddikim. So therefore, what? Maybe the other one should still be punished. He's a small minority. Talmud loymar eidim. Talmud loymar eidim. Eidim means what? That all eidim is plural, and eidim is redundant, because anyhow we know that shnaim, shloish are plural. Why saying plural? Even 100 people, if one of the 100 is not muzam, then all the rest of them, the other 99, are not Muslim either. You don't punish them. Baruch Hashem. So these are the first 2 opinions. Now comes Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva comes with a whole different idea. According to some Rishonim, and Rashi is one of them, I'm just giving you a little introduction. Rabbi Akiva is not coming to argue factually on what we said. Rabbi Akiva agrees to the halachos that we said up until now. The 2 and 3 are always together, and even 100. You always judge the entire group of eidim as one unit, one package deal, all for one for all. Yeah, we saw for 2 nafkaminas already. Rabbi Akiva says he may be right, but it's not a chiddush. It's not a chiddush. Why? Because once the Torah tells me shnaim, and we know the 2 eidim are The Torah says 2 eidim or 2 eidim. I don't care if it's 2 or 100. Goes without saying. Yeah, it's Xeris Akosov. We don't work with numbers. 8 means 2. 2 means 100. It's all the same. Some Rishonim argue, but that's what Rashi says. So why does the Torah tell me Shnai Shloisha? If once the Torah tells me Shnei eidim is Xeris Akosov, you have to accept them. Why? Who cares Shnai Shloisha? Says Rabbi Kiva something else. Yeah, the word hashlishi, the word shnaim or shloisha, the presence of the third aid is not coming to tell me a kula that he's not Muslim, the others are not Muslim. It may be true, but it's not what the Torah is coming to tell me. Ella, what's the Torah coming to tell me? Oh, it's coming to tell me that in case he is Muslim, then his din is the same as them. Which means one could argue and say as follows: although we know the 2 and 100 are all the same, it's true, but it is also true that let's say there are 3 eidim coming to be made, it would have been okay even without the third one. You're coming as extra help, more information, more credibility. But Lamaisa, thank you very much, Mr. Third Aid. 1 aid was made, thank you. 2nd aid is made, thank you. Tick the box. 2 aidim are made. The third one is coming to be made. The third aid is coming to be made. Then what happens then? If the third one comes, I would say, okay, it's an Eidus b'diavad, but the Eidus would have survived without him. So what? Let's say all 3 are Musam. Let's see all 3 are Musam, right? And they say Beryl, Shmerel, and Mekarel, all 3 of you were in Haifa when you claimed to have been in Bet Shemesh. Maybe you don't punish the third one. He spoke last. Beryl spoke, Shmerel spoke, and Mekarel spoke afterwards. So maybe don't punish him. Be nice to him. We always try to be nice and not kill people in Beis Din. It's always the rule. So maybe I would say the third one does get punished because it's not called Mekayme Yodovo. Yeah, it's not Yokum Dovo. The Dover is established without him. Oh, Shnaim Shloisha, we punish him. Comes the turn and says, yes, mister, since you've joined the group of Rishonim and you're a Rosha yourself, you're also a liar. The package deal works both ways. We also punish the aid, the third one, together with the first ones. And now Rabbi Kiva says the famous line, he says like this, V'im ken onesh hakosuv lenitpal le'oivra avera ke'oivra avera. If the Torah is punishing a person who's nitpal, who's joining, who's secondary, he's joining the over avera, and we punish him as if himself is an over avera, Rabbi Kiva is giving us a dvar musar, an encouraging dvar musar. Rabbi Kiva is telling us, if a person who's joining the Rishonim, and he's not the main part of the Rishos, it could have been done without him, but he's joining people who are wicked or trying to lie and convict someone and frame someone, he gets punished, and you give him oynesh. All the more so, a person who's joining a dvar mitzvah, let's say there's a group of people who come and they learn, they do chesed, they daven, they could have had without you, there's a minyan without you, there's a mishmar night, learning session without you, nice. But you joined in, wow, you get so much sachar, much more than Avera, because Hashem gives much more sachar to people who worship, who oived Hashem, people who serve Hashem. The sachar for mitzvah is much greater than the onish of the Avera. The onish, one second, please. The onish is a limited thing. Sachar is not limited. And Rashi brings down the source. The source is from Yud Midas, from around there, from the Chet Egel. It says there, Meruba Midah Toiva. Why? Because B'midah Toiva Netzach Chesed La'alofim, 2,000. Hashem remembers the good deeds 2,000 generations ahead. Meshenken by Nevera Shileshim Albeim, only 4. Another, 4 in relation to 2,000 is 500. Midah Toiva is 500 stronger and bigger than Midah Sadin. Wow, than the punishment, right? And therefore, Rabbi Kiva is hinting here in the middle, is inserting the Valmusel. If the 8 Zoimim, the third one, he joined the bad group, the bad boys, the bad team, the bad party, and he gets punished, even though we could have done without him, or the more so, if you join a good project at Dvar Mitzvah, how much sachar you're going to get, Baruch Hashem. Yes, question for today.
Saying that the third one is an accomplice to the fact.
I was off record, don't worry. Okay, weiter. Okay, weiter. Okay. Umashnai. Oh, here comes big stuff. This is now, it's not difficult what I'm about to read now in the Mishnah, but this is the main lomdish, that's the most lomdish part of this Mishnah, which has a very, very big ramification la halacha, even for chasanas today, for gittin today, and all the rest. We're going to see this now. Continues the Mishnah. Umashnai. Nimtza echad men korov apostle edusan betela. You have two eidim. One of them was found out to be a korov. Two eidim are saying that poor Mr. Framed, Mr. Victim, they say that he stole or killed last week Wednesday in Bet Shemesh, right? And before you even were mazim, not mazim, one of them is a relative. One of them is his brother. One of them is his son. One of them is his father, right? No. So what do you say? One of two eidim. Nixed, out, cancelled. Then you only have one aid, nothing. The edus is betela, the edus is garnished. And what about if he's a posel? He's posel for another reason. He's a gambler. He's a noiver avera. The edus is betela. Av shloisha nimtza echad men kol v'posel udusam betela. Wow, you hear that? Let's say you have three eidim. Two of them are kosher mehadrin, mina mehadrin, but the third one is posel or korov. Three eidim, two of them are as good as gold. The third aid, which we could have done without, in theory, but he comes out that he is his brother, and we didn't know. So brother can't be made against another brother. Then what do we say? All three are possible. The entire edus is possible. Yeah, that's the basics here. There's a lot to say about that, but that's a basic idea. Minana filomea. How do you know about 100 even? Wow. You understand what does mean 100? 99 are kosher eidim, and one of them is a brother of the accused. The entire edus of 100 people is possible, and you don't do anything to the accused because one is like two are like three, and three are like 100. But that's the word eidim. Okay, that's what the first Tana is saying, right? And this is this is the first opinion. Amar Rabbi Yosi comes Rabbi Yosi and says, no. But Medvo, this is actually Rabbi Akiva. This was Rabbi Akiva still talking. This was Rabbi Akiva, and the Rishonim said that too. That's Rabbi Akiva is still talking. Rabbi Akiva said again. What did we say? You have three eidim. Two of them are kosher. One is possible. The entire edus, all of it, including the two foundational ones, the fundamental ones, is the whole thing is falling apart. 100. Only one of them happens to be a brother of the accused of the nidoin, then the whole thing falls like a castle like a card castle, like a sand castle. Okay, comes the Tana Rabbi Yosi, and he wants to limit what we said. Rabbi Yosi partially argues on what we said. Amar Rabbi Yosi, but medvo mamurim, you know when is that true? Bedine nefoshois. That's bedine nefoshois. You have three people. We're going to discuss also. What does eidim mean? Before we continue, I want to plant a little bit of seeds of doubts in your mind. What does it mean, three eidim? Three eidim that saw the event, or three eidim that come to Beis Din to attest? That's a question. I really should have had the Shulchan Aruch here, but we'll talk about the Shulchan Aruch later. You get what I'm saying? Is it two eidim who saw it, and one of them, or 3 or 4 or 500, they all saw it, and some of them are psulim? Or does it mean they came to Beis Din and some of them are psulim? Let's leave that aside now. Comes Rabbi Yosi and says, "B'medvo mamurim b'din nefoshes." I agree with Rabbi Akiva b'din nefoshes, which means what? Din nefoshes. Let's say you have three eidim, right, that saw someone killing his friend, lo leinu. Two of them are kosher, and one of them is his brother. One of them, and what happens then? Din nefoshes. Since the brother saw the murder, then the other two that saw it with him, even though they're kosher, they can't come to Beis Din to be made. Wow. Aval b'dinei momenes tiskai meidus bashar. B'dinei momenes, we don't care. Even though there are three people who saw someone stealing, someone lending money, borrowing, they saw someone working and the other person not paying him, v'chulei, then we do divide and conquer, and we say the kosher ones are kosher, and even though the brother was there, we don't care. We still divert, we still dissect it, and we say that those that are kosher, they can be made. Okay, so dinei momenes tiskai meidus bashar. Why? What's the difference? Rashi says, the reason is because when it comes to nefoshes, we always want to be nice and want to be lenient and easy with the accused, because we have a rule called ve'etzilu ha'eda. Ve'etzilu ha'eda means Beis Din always want to try and save the life of people, save the lives of people. And we say etzilu ha'eda. What does it mean? Since really we have a person who's accused of murder, we say who saw the murder? Reuben and Shimon, top eidim, they saw him and they saw him killing, and they did, and we know that. But since you also have Levi, and Levi happens to be his brother, and Levi the brother was there when his brother killed, and Levi saw it, that alone patters, that exempts the person from death. Because we say, aha, we found Shnaim Shloisha, we found 2 or 3 to be together, and if a third wheel is not working, then the entire thing is not working, the Edis is not working, and we say, what? Don't kill the person, save his life. That's Rashi. Tosfos argues, and Tosfos says, no, mapitom. We have the Pasuk Shnaim Shloisha separately, regardless. We have the Pasuk Shnaim Shloisha also in Dinim Ominous. I can ignore the Pasuk. Answers Tosfos 3, a brilliant idea. He says like this. There's a big difference between Din and Nefashis and Dinim Ominous. I want you guys to tell me what the difference is. Regarding Eid Echod. Up until now, when I said 2 eidim, one of them is posel and only one survived, nothing. Is that always true? No. For what? What can you do with money? Can force the other person to take a shvuah. Very good. Psh, Givaldig. Such memory. Which means, by Shnaim eidim of Mominus, let's start the other way around. By Shnei eidim of Nefoshes, just like 2 eidim, which one down, boom, one down, one to go, one stays, one's around. We say, well, but in Nefoshes, it's nothing. If one aid comes to Beis Din running and he's very convincing, very truthful, and he's right, one aid says in so broke Shabbos or murdered or Boal Neshesish, we don't look at him bichlal. As far as I know, Pashtus, no. Yeah, maybe the Mitzaref. No. The answer is no. And therefore, just like 2 minus 1 is nothing, right? So 2, 3 minus 1 is nothing. Very good. The formula works very well. But by Mominus, it's not so true. Why? Because let's say out of 2, 1 fell and 1 stayed. Then by Mominus, what do we say? That 1 survives partially. It's good enough to be Mechayiv Shvuah. So the formula is not so great anymore. Therefore, we can say by 3, if one of them fell, the 2 still exist. By Mominus, if you have 3 people who say, we know that the Mr. Viktimovich owes his friend $1 million and we saw it, and one of them, you are the brother, aren't you, by mistake? Yes, I am. Out of the game. And then the other 2 remain, they remain. Why? Because just like 2 minus 1 is not exactly nothing, so 3 minus 1 is not nothing, and the 2 still survive, and it's a good edus by Mominus. So according to Rashi, it's because of Rachmanus we have by Nefoshes. According to Tosfos, it's because of Edechad Neman Lechayiv Shvuah. In any event, so let's repeat. According to Rabbi Yossi, we say 2 things. We say one thing, actually. Rabbi Yossi says to Rabbi Akiva, I agree with you that when an edus is partially possible by one aid, the whole thing falls apart. If one aid is called of apostle, it's only true by nefashis, but not by mominus. That's what Rabbi Yossi says to Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Omer, Rabbi is telling us 2 things. I'm reading Rabbi according to Rashi. There's a lot in the Rishonim here. I'm sticking to Rashi. Rabbi Omer, echad in mominus, vechad in nefashis. No, Rabbi says it's true about both. Both mominus and nefashis, we say that if one of them is possible, then we don't believe, then we don't listen, we don't relate to the other ones too. Whether it is mominus or nefashis is the same. If one is out of the game, the whole thing fell apart like a sand castle, the whole thing is out. However, I have another exception to the rule. He says something very, very big. When it comes to nefoshes, when do we say that the presence of, let's say, the 3 or 4 or 5 people all saw the murder? A murder is a sight to see. You don't have to read it in a book. See it in front of your eyes. Lo leinu. And he sees the murder, 5, 6 people. One of the 6 people is related to the, let's say, to the murderer, right? We say that the whole thing falls apart. Not always true, says Rebbe. It's only true when they were matre, which means eidim in halacha are not only people who see the event. In din and nefashos, these are people who warned, who gave the hasra to the accused. And before he pulled out the gun, they say, you know that if you kill him, you're going to get scythe, we're going to slash your throat. And he says, I don't care. And they did it 3 times, I don't care. Then we say they're eidim. Now they get the crown, the hat of eidim. They get the badge, professional aid for you, right? First aid. Yeah, first aid and second aid. Yeah, they are now the eidim because they're masre. They have the official job of called, they're now the eidim. But if a third person, let's say the brother, was not masre, the brother was just watching his own brother murdering the neighbor, going crazy or not going crazy, maybe he was happy, I don't know what he felt, I don't care, but he wasn't matre, meaning he clearly wasn't there to be an aid. He happens to see it. Visually, physically, he has an eyesight, Baruch Hashem, but he's not there to be an aid, and he didn't come to do the asra, then he does not disqualify the rest. Then you have this imaginary lines between real eidim and non-real eidim. I'm now jumping a very, very, very big jump, a little bit illegal, sorry, but just to appease you, in case you think all the chasanas you've been to are possible and nobody in Klal Yisrael is married, that's what I would say. Because you have 2 eidim, they watch the chasan betrothing the kala, as we saw in kiddushin, but in most chuppahs that I've been to, actually all of them, there are relatives around. Did you notice, right? Eyes, weeping, oi, right? Beseder? Then what? Then you have how's the kiddushin kosher? You have 2 eidim, but you have 100 kroivim. The answer is this: only these 2 eidim are miyuchad. There's no asro. Only these 2 eidim are miyuchad to be eidim. That's what they're miyachad them. You, Rabbi Shmulovsky, and you, Rabbi Ranovsky, you are the eidim, as opposed to the tate and the shver and the zaydi and the shmeidi and the uncle and the fetter and the shputki, all the relatives and the nephew, all of them are not eidim, only you are. I'm being a little bit jumping the gun, but that's basically the idea. So basically, that's what Rebbe is saying. Rebbe is telling us only back to murder, as opposed to the chasana. Yeah, if they were the one masra, they're the eidim, but other innocent onlookers, yeah, they're not called eidim, and therefore they don't passel the rest of the edus. And he says strongly, he gives a proof, yeah. Aval bezman shelo yitur bein, if the posel eidim did not give us raw, mayasu shnei achin shor bechad shorges hanefesh. Let's say there are 2 brothers, yeah. They're not related to the murderer, yeah. These are 2 brothers. They see someone about to murder. They're unable to give edus, according to you. That's crazy, kivyochol. Why? According to me, Rebbe, there's a solution. 2 brothers are about to see someone committing murder, and they want to save the world. They want to save and make sure that he gets judged and punished. So what do we do? According to me, Rebbe, very good. There are 2 brothers, Moshe and Aaron. Moshe and Aaron are possible to be made together, even if they're not related to the other guy. You know that. 2 brothers can't be made together, even if they're not related to the accused, to the people, to the plaintiffs. What will Moshe and Aaron do when they're about to see a murder happening, unfolding in front of their eyes? Moshe says, I'm stepping out. You, Aaron, quickly get another guy, Shmerel, and Aaron and Shmerel together will be eidim, and they're not brothers. According to me, it works right. And even though I, Moshe, I'm still here watching, I remove myself the hat of an aid from my head. I'm not an aid anymore. I'm not an aid. I'm out of the game. I'm still watching it. I'm allowed to watch and come and see. And now Aaron and the unrelated person, Shmerele, Aaron and the other guy are not related. They do hasro. They're wearing the eidim hat and they give hasro to the murderer. You murderer, blah, 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 blah. You'll be punished. It works very nicely. But according to you, that what? According to you, what's going to happen? According to you, Rabbi Yossi, any relative that comes and watches the event, automatically that means that you can't kill anyone. You can't execute a murderer. What will the 2 brothers do? Right? And therefore, that is the story. Therefore, says Rabbi, only the ones that have warned him, and warning is a siman, is an indication that they're the real eidim. And the not real aid, he happens to be an onlooker, it does not pass all the other ones. Yes, I'm not sure who's first. Yeah, go ahead.
Eight before beauty.
Thank you. Okay.
Two things. Number one,
Omar Rove. Says Rove, when we said, what did we say at the beginning of the Mishnah? 100 eidim are all one group, right? Let's say you have two eidim who pass, let's say, 1 out of 100. Yeah, we come to a group of 100 people, and two eidim said, all of you 100, you all saw Reuven killing Shimon in an Osher ad. Really? Well, we saw one of you 100, you. Yes, you. Aid Mr. 100, yeah, you with the badge 100 on your jacket, yeah, you were with us and we're made with all honesty and we've been tried and tested. You're not in Al Sharad last week, you're Barami Levi, that's another planet, yeah. So how can you say in Al Sharad? Maybe you're confused. No, you're not there, yeah. So we say all 100, the entire Eidus is now possible, right? They now basically nix the entire, the whole, right, the whole card castle just collapsed. Good. Everything is now, the whole Edus is out. When do we consider all 100 eidim to be one unit? That's $1 million question. Before technicalities, what makes this 100 to be all one unit? Yeah, they all came in 1 day, in 2 days, in 3 days. How close to each other do they have to be? Technically, the edus, how close the statements have to be to each other to be called one edus, right? All of them were made one to the other. From the first aid to the 100th aid, yeah, there was just kidei dibur. Wow, what's kidei dibur? Let's see. Amar le Ravacha Medifti Ravina. Ravacha Medifti asked Ravina, is that serious? Is that for real? Michdi, the end of the day, kidei dibur echidami. What's kidei dibur technically? And we should know that from halachas of tefillah. How much? Or what is it? Shalom lecharebi, shalom lecharebi Moiri, shalom lecharebi Shaila, kidei shelas talmid larav. That's very soon. Shalom lecharebi. I think it's about a second. Yeah, it's 1 second more or less. Yeah, you want to tell me that toch kidei dibur, yeah, toch kidei dibur, which in halacha you can always connect to diburim as long as there's no more than toch kidei dibur between one dibur and the other, or regretting. An aid can regret what he said, but toch kidei dibur. Yeah, toch kidei dibur, or a baldin. A baldin wants to accuse the other one. Toch kidei dibur, we can quickly regret what he said. Toch kidei dibur is a very, very short period of time. How come from aid Mr. 1, number 1, to aid 100, how can 100 people talk toch kidei dibur from the one to the last one altogether? And says the Gemara, mea tuva havu, 100, that's a lot of people to say toch kidei dibur. Omar le, no, he answers Ravine, it's not like Mr. 100 has to be toch kidei dibur straight after the Mr. number 1. It's like a chain. It's a chain reaction. It's one after the other. Each one has to talk toch kidei dibur of his friend. Let's say the 100 eidim. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zvulun, Zvadiyahu, Tzfaniyahu, Kalman, Berle. All 100 eidim, each one has to talk toch kidei dibur of his friend. Get what I'm saying? Now, one right after the other. It's like relaying, like a relay. How do you call it? Yeah. Basically, that kind of race, the relay race, you give the torch, yeah? Okay, good. So it has to be very, very quick, right? You got to be very, very quick. That's what's going on over here. One person is made quick, toch kidei dibur, toch kidei dibur, toch kidei dibur. That connects them all into one beautiful group, but the group is not so beautiful. The one chain, what happens when you take out, you clip the chain and one pearl goes up, the whole necklace of pearls all falls apart. That's what's happening here, because they're all connected. That's pshat over here. Says the Ritva, that is only true when you talk about eidim that come to be made together. But let's say there was a Baldin Reuven. I'm just adding some Ritva stuff. Ritva lived in Seville. That's not so far. So basically, the Ritva says as follows. You have a Baldin that claims so-and-so owes me $10 million. Then the Baldin starts saying his words, you're a liar, and I don't owe you v'chulei. Okay? Now the other guy, the first guy, Reuven, the plaintiff, toch kidei dibur of the second guy wants to regret what he said. He cannot regret. Toch kidei dibur is only after regretting your own dibur. I say, so-and-so owes me $1 million, and then he says, no, he doesn't. I can regret quickly. v'sent al motor, v'sent brocha, right? Yeah. Hamelach akel hakodesh, hamelach hakodesh, right? That happens to you ever? Yeah, toch de dibur. But after your friend's dibur, you can't regret what you said. Here, the eidim is different. They're all one body. But if it's two opposite bodies, two opposite parties, one can be chozer toch de dibur from the other one. The seder. Weiter?
So if
Yeah.
the
Question.
divorce one another,
Cool. That's good. No, it's a good question. Toch de dibur doesn't mean that each aid only has 1 second to talk. No. Each aid can talk for half an hour and describe and should. And you said Yishav Chakira. I saw him smoking on Shabbos, and the color of the cigarette was white, Marlboro, and he was sitting under the tree in Park Ayalon, and the tree leaves were green. According to some people, he had even made that. He was wearing a blue shirt with Adidas on the top. V'chule. He can speak for an hour, and the other aid can speak for an hour. But between the one aid statement and the other aid statement, the lapse of time between them should only be toch de dibur, no more than that. That connects them to be one. What happens when you have 100 people and after number 50 we took a break and there was an entire minute break? Good. Then 50 eidim belong to one cut and the other 50 belong to the other cut. Excuse the pun. Cut is kaf taf. Cut also C-U-T. You cut between one cut and the other, and therefore, if one of the eidim in cut number 2 came out to be a liar, the first eidim, the first group are still okay. It's two different chains, like in Memoshel. That's one pearl necklace, the other pearl necklace. This one broke, this one didn't. Yeah, but if all of them were connected by having less just the dibu between the utterances, between their declarations, then they're all one big, happy, beautiful edus. And one all for one for all, and if one breaks, they all break. I'm listening. I'm not sure. Rabbi Akiva Omer, weiter. We're quoting the Mishnah. Loi bashlishi umashnayim v'chulei. Bekitza, according to Rabbi Akiva, if 3 people saw the event innocently, 2 of them were masre, and the third one wasn't. According to the first opinion of Rabbi Akiva, yeah, what do we say then? And also according to Rabbi Yossi, actually. Okay, if one person, one of the group, one out of a few, is the posel aid, the whole thing falls apart and it's not an aidus anymore. On that, there are millions of questions. Let's start with the Gemara. According to Rabbi Kiva's logic, the dead person himself, he witnessed his own death. You know that? Right before he was killed, he saw the knife in front of his eyes, and then he went to a better place. So at the time of killing, even if there are only 2 eidim, and they're very frum and very smart and very Rabbi Kiva oriented, and the 2 eidim told everybody should get out of here. Get out right now. We want to have good eidus. Everyone went out. Only the eidim are watching the murder, and they can't stop him. They're trying, but they can't. Yeah. And what happens then? They're masre in him, but there's always a third person, the victim, the horug. He died. So what if he died? He doesn't have to come to Beis Din according to Bekiva. He's in Beis Din Shalmala being judged. But Lamaisa, there are 3 people at least watching because the horug saw. Why does that disqualify? Says Rashi, he's a kovetz alatzmoi. He's his own relative, and obviously he's part of the deal. Yeah, he's in Beis Din. He's not in Beis Din really. But it's a case of Kivyochol, him accusing the horug, the killer, the roitzeach, and he's kovetz alatzma, he's related to himself, right? He cannot be, he's possible for the edus against the roitzeach, he's nogea b'davo. To say so-and-so killed me, if you could have gotten up of his kever and say so-and-so killed me, wouldn't have believed him. Yeah, if I say to somebody else, you owe me $10 million, okay, that's cute, give eidim, bring eidim, right? So he is apostle aid in potential. He can't be made so-and-so, right? He's his own korov. He's nogea b'davar. It's part of the deal and the din. So if he saw it with his own eyes, and he clearly did, how can there ever be edus, right? And Toyses says Baldin, or says Toyses, it's a very little Toyses here short, he hates him. Even if he's not considered as a Baldin officially, clearly he hates the guts of the guy who killed him. And if he hates him, then he's apostle aid. In potential, he never made it to Beis Din. But in theory, when he saw it, he was apostle aidus. He hated him the second before he died. Answers the Gemara. Wow, according to Bekiva, you have to make a huge ukimta. The only time you kill a person you accuse a person of murder and you punish him is if he killed the victim from behind. The victim didn't see him. He came with a knife from behind his back and stabbed him in the back physically. He beheaded him from the back. Lo aleinu. And therefore, because he didn't see him, only then you have good edus of only the two good eidim. The third one, the murdered himself, never saw it. Okay, say there. Frag the Gemara nirba yotzil. Nirba is much more complicated, and we have to see Tosfos here. But in general, the question is, what happens if lolein one man is rovea the other? One man has relations with another man, right? So then also the other man, what's going to happen then? Yeah, let's say the nirba should save him, and nirba is possible edus. There could be many reasons why. Let's say the reason is it was merotzoin. The two men had relations, and the one that was nirba, the passive guy, he wanted it, right? He agreed, and therefore, if he saw it happening, there are two eidim who saw it, and they are made in Beis Din. But the third guy, the nirba, the other guy, yeah, a guy with an A. And what happens then? He should yatzil. Why yatzil? Because really, he saw it, and he's possible because he's a Rasha. Answers the Gemara, he never saw it. He never saw it happening. He was roveving him from behind, which is the normal way in that case of two men. And he didn't see it. He didn't see him. He was blindfolded. I don't know. He wanted, didn't want. That doesn't matter. He didn't see it happening. There's a lot of question, really, by the way, about that in Tosfos. If we have time, we'll get there. But that's a general. Now, frag the Gemara, unbelievable, interesting question. Hoirig v'rovea yatzilu. The Hoirig saw himself doing it. In other words, this is like a bizarre question. According to Rabbi Akiva, something very, very strange and crazy is going to happen. Because let's say Reuven kills Shimon, Reuven sees himself doing it. So then, and he's also Nogea B'Dovo, he sees himself doing it. And he's made on himself. He's a Nogea, he's a Korov, he himself is there. So you never have Edus, you never kill anybody. The same thing about the Rovea, Ishtik, he didn't know what to say. So now Abai didn't know what to say. He also looked at the Omarlei, and here comes the big story, which also has to do with the chasanas, with the eidim and the relatives. Yokum dovo, the mekaime dovo kosov medaber, which means as much as we want to exclude people who are related, people who are relatives, or nogea b'dovo, or kroivim, all these people, or reshoim, that is only true, or people who are trying to be eidim. According to some Rishonim, it means only people who come to Beis Din. That's Shitas Rosh, I think, and Tosfos Mashma also. Shulchan Aruch brings it down. Only people who are there as eidim, they are in the eidim stand. They're in the eidim position. Yeah, I came to Beis Din to be made, and I'm a relative. Nixed, and everybody else is nixed. Even the other 2, 3 kosher mehadrin. That is if I'm coming as an aid. But the people in Beis Din who are the plaintiffs, people in Beis Din, let's say the Rovea V'Nirba, the one owes money, or okay, not about money even. Yeah, the people who are in the story, not the Eidim, the people who are the Nidoin, the Bali Din, the Nidoin, the people, the accused or the accuser, those people, the Torah doesn't relate to them, even according to Rabbi Akiva. As much as Rabbi Akiva is lenient and he says that any possible aid patters and exempts the entire group, that is only if he's part of the eidim, but otherwise no. Hence, again, we see the same concept, even according to Rabbi Akiva, which is more mekel, it's only eidim who are eidim, even though they're not doing the asro, but they're still eidim, which according to some Rishonim means only those who came to Beis Din. That's a huge story. That's a huge exception to the rule. But if they didn't come to Beis Din, the nearby didn't come to Beis Din. He is happy that the other guy is a friend, or whatever. The murdered didn't come to Beis Din. He's in Shemaim, right? And even if they came to Beis Din, they're not coming as eidim. They're baladovo. What about the murderer? What about the rovea? He is it. He is the accused. He's not the aid, and therefore such a person is out of the story. And even though he was present, it does not disqualify the entire edus. That's Pashup Pshat. Pashup Pshat. It's a very easy page, without all the other stuff. Amar B'Yosi, one more paragraph here, and then we'll go into Tosfos. Okay, so what did Rabbi Yosi say? Rabbi Yosi is making huge exception to the rule, and Rabbi Yosi says that B'dinei Nefoshes, and then we saw Rabbi, then we saw Rabbi. What did Rabbi say? Rabbi said only eidim that mamish were masre, eidim that came to be eidim at the time of the murder. If one of them is a brother, is a kohen or apostle, they disqualify everything. But if it was clear right from the start, you have two people who served as the official eidim and they gave a straw, and then you had some, curious people. You had all kinds of onlookers who were curious to see the murder or the guy smoking on Shabbos or whatever that is, but they're not there as eidim. They're a separate group. It's like the father of the chassan and the kala, the chasana, they're out of the game. I don't care that they're physically there, because halachically they're not there as eidim. That's what Rabbi says. How do we find out? How do we know if the carver apostle actually meant to just look, or they came to give edus at the beginning? Makes a big difference. How do you know why they're there? This is what we tell them. What did you come there for? We ask them, and we have to trust them. And we ask them, did you come to watch the event, to look at it? Was your entertainment for the week? Or did you come there at the beginning to be eidim, to come and aid and abate for Beis Din and be able to testify? If they say we came to testify, we came in order to give edus. If one of them is called apostle, one of that group that all came to be made is called apostle, the entire group is out, no edus. But if they said no, we just came to have a look, it was an interesting thing to see, then we say no. Then they don't disqualify the whole group. Why? Because those people that are good eidim are going to stay as good eidim, and they also warned him, and the ones who just came to look, they don't disturb the ones that came to be eidim, the two separate groups. That says what? That says that even if they came just to look and they're koiv, they disqualify the whole group. Rav Nachman Omer, and that's halacha in Shulchan Aruch. I saw it today in Siman Lamed Vav. Yeah, Rav Nachman says halacha kerebi. Halacha kerebi meaning what? That if you have a few people and only the two people or three or four that were designated to be eidim by themselves, they said we are here to be eidim. And how do you know? First of all, we warned him and we told Beis Din we are coming. Also, they told Beis Din later, yes, we came to be eidim. If one of them is possible, the whole thing is nixed, the whole thing is possible, the whole necklace fell apart. But if you have those people, those of the group, there were 100 people watching the murder, what an event. Then what? The other 80 people, the other 85, 90 people came stumped to look. If there is a brother, a cousin, a fechule, a apostle, a gambler, a porutz, a guy with non-kosher phone, whatever, then what do we say? We say that you do not disqualify the rest. Hence, at chasanas, that's what we do. What do? We designate eidim. It's very, very important. The Mesader Kiddushin, who knows what he's doing, what does he do? He's actually Mesader, and he says, you are an aid, and you also come to be an aid. So clearly make a distinction between the two. Should be choshev people who are not Bala Avera, who are not related, v'chulei. Yeah, I remember Magid Shiur of mine, he's a very Yerushalayim, American guy, American Rov in Yeshiva. He said he was at the very choshev chasana of Rav Eliashiv's grandson or something. So they wanted him to be an aide because they said he's an American from a very different background, also a more modern background. So they knew that he's definitely not related. In Yerushalayim, so many families are related. They're a Choshesh, Yerushalayim, maybe he's a cousin, another Eisenbach or another Porush, yeah? But this man was from America and from a different family. He knew he's very kosher. Yerushalayim, definitely not related. Questions or Tosfos? What do you choose? Questions, yes.
Can two brothers be to a customer?
No, chas v'shalom. No. Between them, they can't be. As far as I know, no. As far as I know, there's always surprises. The two eidim should not be related. Usually, it's a custom. I don't know, just out of COVID, but the custom is that they take one from the kala side, one from the chosen side. They give COVID kilu, an aid from each side. The ritva, yeah, go ahead, and then I'll tell you a ritva. You have to choose two people who are Yerushalayim. Religious Jews, they should be men and not women. As far as you know, they're not paruts, they're not gamblers, they're not liars, they keep halacha. You can assume, you can always be smart and say, how do you know? Maybe that guy or Yeshiva behind your back, he does all the precepts. Maybe. The assumption is muchzik to be a kosher person. You say to them that they're miyucha to be eidim. You'll be an aid in advance, by the way. It's better not to surprise them. And you miyach them, you say to them, you have to be the aid. I'm inviting you to be the aid. And also at the chuppah, I'm not a Masada kiddushin, but I do know from what I saw. You said he's an aid and he's an aid. You point and you see this is an aid, this is an aid, and therefore you don't have to say everybody else is not. You exclude if they're eidim and all the other people are not eidim, then the other people are not eidim, and therefore it's a kosher edus. The Ritva says there was a meaning in his times which he speaks against, and the ksuba that would make relatives sign. That's a problem because the relatives and the good eidim are signing. He said there they knew they were only doing it for covered. It was clearly it's an edus of covered, to give a good feeling to the rich uncle from Barcelona and the cousin from wherever, from Granada, to make them feel good. They're kilo made in the ksuba. Everybody knows, it's like people get an honorary PhD. It's not a real PhD, yeah, right? That's kind of a thing. Honorary title without the real thing. So too, but then I think at the end he speaks against it and he said it's better not to get involved in that. And the ksuba also, the ksuba should have eidim that are not related to the hafen or the kala. 10:30 it is. Well, there it's clear because they're right in the ksuba aid. It said neum so and so aid and neum so and so aid. So the ksuba, it's written that they're eidim. It's clear. Sunday is what? Sunday is another shiur Bezos Hashem. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm staying online. I'm staying on the phone. Shkoyach, thank you for coming today. Thank you very much. Atzlocho Brocha. You too. I want to share with you that I was suggested I was offered in yeshiva Reshi to be a meshiv also in the mornings. Yeah, so we have to see what's going to happen because I most probably will be there in the mornings. So we'll see what's going to happen. When we finish Makkos, then I'll start. Anyway, no, they can't have me there. I have to be there already 9:30, whatever, 10. Okay, we stay there. Atzlocho v'rocha. You too.